Hello, and welcome to my latest obsession, Tempoross! Now you may saying, Menji, this isn't Tempoross, and I know that. So, Tempoross is located all the way down here in the desert, in the ruins of Unka. But, I don't want to pay the shanty pass, and I also don't want to walk all the way down here. So, what you can do is by the bank in Al Kharid, there's this guy here. You can click on his boat to board the ferry, and that will take you to where Tempoross is. And we're here. Great. So, what you're going to need for Tempoross is, you obviously don't need your graceful. I just like wearing mine. But you will need a harpoon and a rope. That's how I play. You also technically need a bucket with water, and you need a hammer to fix the totems that you tie your rope onto. But I don't do that, and I also don't put out the fire, because I just assume everyone else will. But that's pretty much all you need. That's all I use is the harpoon and the rope. What you also need to do to make this a little bit more enjoyable is go to the Tempoross Worlds. So if you go to World Switcher, you're going to see here there's a bunch of different ones here. You just sort it by name, scroll all the way down to Tempoross. And you can see here there are a few dedicated servers for Tempoross. I go to the highest populated one, which happens to be 422 today. And boom, there's more people here. It makes it more enjoyable. So, what you want to do is once you have all your supplies here, you can also get all the supplies on the boat when you're there if you don't have any of this stuff. You can go and click on the boat. And looks like we're going to be set sailing in 5 seconds here. So the game starts right away when you get off the boat. So let's go over to the fishing spot. We'll click on the spot here. And I'll kind of explain a little bit more about this. So the way Tempoross works is, so right now the energy is getting to 100%. Once it gets to 100%, Tempoross will appear out of the water over here, between the docks here. And when that happens, what we want to do is we want to cook the fish that we've fished already. So as you can see, it's getting to 93. So we can probably go over here and start cooking these fish. To help with Tempoross, I also use the plugin over here for Tempoross in the plugins for Runelight. So that's really helpful. That shows the highlighted fishing areas, and it'll also tell you a bunch of other useful information. Alright, Tempoross has surfaced. We can't see him because the render distance isn't that far, but he is there. So once we see this little square here with the timer, we click on that because we have the chance of getting 2 fish right off the bat when we fish. So see how we just got 2 here? Usually you just get 1. So that helps with getting more fish. And then we're going to see the storm is coming. So we click on this and we use our rope to tie ourselves to the post. We wait for that to go over. You can see that that fishing spot is not here anymore. What I like to do is go back to the cooking range to cook the fish I have, to wait for that to come. As you can see, it just appeared here. So let's run back over to it. The next stage is going to be, there's going to be fire and lightning. So we just want to make sure that we're not in the AoE of the fire when it comes. So right now we're in the AoE of the fire. So let's get out of there. You also so happen to fill up our inventory of fish. The other reason why I don't carry the bucket of water and the hammer with me is to get more inventory of fish, because the cooked fish have a higher XP rate and higher reward bonus than the uncooked fish. Alright, let's run back over to the boat. We have a full inventory of cooked fish, and we didn't lose any. When you get caught in the fire, you lose your fish. And when you get caught in the storm, you also lose your fish. So now we just put the fish into the cannon. And as you can see, the storm's coming, and there's a post right here that you can tie it to. If you get caught in the storm, you also lose your fish. So now we just fill this up, and we get 89 XP per fish, which is great. Alright, so Tempoross just lost all of his energy, so now he's going to be peering down here. So we want to run over to this dock here and start harpooning the spirit pool. And that also gives us 98 experience per harpoon. We also get a little bit of points for that as well. And as you're harpooning the spirit pool, the essence is going down. When that essence hits 0%, the game is over. And when his energy gets back to 100%, he'll reappear. So he just reappeared, which is fine. So now let's go shoot this last fish here. Boom. There we go. Now we go back to fishing. We check to see if that fishing spot is available. It is not, so we just choose a random one here. So this is going to be the last wave that we can do here. So let's go back here. So I'm at about 2,900 points here. So we want to get at least 4,000 to get a good amount of reward points. So what we're going to do is we're going to fish until it's about, 60%, 55, 60%. And then we're going to cook. And then we're going to shoot the fish. And that should get us to 4,000. Luckily, we picked a nice spot where the fire isn't there. Alright, so the fire is in front of that fishing spot, so obviously we're not going there. Someone put it out for us, which is why we don't carry that. And so now we can do that. Alright, so now it's at 55%, and I so happen to have a full inventory. So let's cook this fish. Let's cook it down to at least 25% of the energy. And then we can go and shoot the fish that we have until the spirit pool pops up, and then we can harpoon that, and then that should be the end of the game. Alright, so we're at 31%. It's going to take us a little bit of time to shoot these fish out of here. You can also see that there's lightning on that. Sometimes Tempoross will shoot the cannons and pause the cannons from shooting. What you just want to do is you just want to go over to the other one, pretty much. It's either going to be one or the other. It'll never be both, so you don't have to worry about that, luckily. Alright, so he's about to go into the water here. So I'm about to get 4,000 points, which is great. So let me just finish this last cooked fish, and then I can go down here. The pool. By the time I get there, it may already be gone, but that's fine. Oh, nope, I was able to make it, which is great. So it looks like I'm going to get about 4,500 points here. We'll see. Nice, we got to 4,500. Alright, excellent. So we just finished Tempoross here. And if you go over to the game, it'll tell you how many points you have. So I got a total reward points of 5. So I'll be able to show you what that means when we get off the island here. You just go over to the people who are dancing. You right click and click leave. So that way you don't have to go through the whole talking thing with them. So we have 5 reward points now for doing that. So it looks like 4,500 points equals 5 reward points, which is great. So what we want to do is we want to go into our bank here and get a small fishing net. And what we want to do is go over here to the reward pool, which is right outside Tempoross, the docking area. When we click on it, we have the chance of getting a lot of random fish, and there's also some collection items that you can get. Alright, so it looks like we are out of reward points here, which is fine. So it looks like we got a good amount of raw salmon, raw swordfish, and some raw lobster. Not the greatest loot, but you do get some good items, like you get a fishing barrel from Tempoross, which allows you to hold a bunch of fish, like another inventory of fish from when you do regular fishing. You can get a dragon harpoon. You can get a pet for the Tempoross pet. I have yet to get a Tempoross pet, but there's still hope out there. This will not be the last time I do Tempoross, because it's really good fishing XP and as well as cooking XP. But that's pretty much how you play Tempoross. If you like this video, make sure you click the like button below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you like these guides, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!